Hello.
Hello.
Hi, welcome to another Riot Grrrl NYC meetup. Okay, show of hands, who here isn't in a Riot Grrrl band? Okay. Okay, and then like everybody else, you're in a Riot Grrrl band. Okay. You know, I hope that we all learned something today, because you know you don't know everything. I learned that every day. But okay, so we got members of Bad Static, Rat Sauce, Cherry Blue, Pleasure Death, and Iridescent Pools here today. So you guys just raise your hand real quick.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay, that's them. But so here is my presentation: how to start a Riot Grrrl band and everything else in life. Because I'm also going to teach you how to do everything else in life, like everything you could ever possibly think of. I'm going to teach you that today. Okay, next slide. Okay, so why should you listen to me? Hi, I'm Cecil. I front Cat Crash. We've been a band since 2022 and had our first show on September 2nd, 2023. Oh, that zine I gave you all, we're going to do an anniversary show on August 29th. That's like our 3rd year anniversary. And Bad Static and Rat Sauce, they're here today. They're playing that show. It's in Bridgeport, though. But you should go to Bridgeport to see the show. But anyway, we have gone on tour 4 times and have opened for Skating Polly, Vile, Go on Coma, Pink Shift, other bands as well. But I just picked the most relevant ones. But okay, so we are entirely independent in DIY. We do not have a label. We don't have a manager. I'm the manager. We don't have like, I'm the person who like answers all the emails and DMs and like does the promo and the marketing and stuff like that. So we book our own shows, and I've played 100+ shows and everything. Like, it's all DIY. We all do it ourselves, and like, you know, we ask our like friends to help us, and we don't have money to like for like a big producer or anything. We're like, I just go to like my friend Briar. I'm like, Briar, can you produce this for us? And she does. But anyway, yes. So that's my credentials. Okay, next slide. How to start a Riot Grrrl band, or well, no, this says how to start a band. How to start a band. Step 1. To click start. You have to just start it. Next slide. If you want to start a band, start a band. Do not let stuff like not knowing how to play an instrument stop you. If you want to start a band, start a band. Congratulations, you're in a band now. Okay. Wait. What makes it a Riot Grrrl band? Okay, next slide. Okay, so what is Riot Grrrl? Let's I'm gonna cover this. Somebody from the audience, tell me what Riot Grrrl is.
It's a subgenre of the genre punk that focuses on feminine and women's empowerment. And back when Riot Grrrl was created, it was extremely important in a lot of feminist movements. It was obviously way more flawed than it is now, because the community has become much more accepting. But overall, to Rat Sauce, Riot Grrrl is being who you are and not being afraid of the feminine and embracing the feminine aspects of yourself, whether you are female or not.
Yay, that's good. Okay, so here's my thing. It just says, Riot Grrrl is a feminist punk movement that started in the 90s. Associated with third wave feminism, women and queer people thought the punk scene was unsafe for them and decided to create their own scene. The term was coined in a July 1991 zine titled Riot Grrrl, compiled and published by Kathleen Hanna, Molly Newman, Allison Wolfe, and Jen Smith. And those are members of Bikini Kill and Bratmobile. So what makes your band a Riot Grrrl band? Let's see. So, here's like a list of things that like, it's not like this is like a checklist. I'm like, these are just things that you can do as a Riot Grrrl band to make your band like, cause like part of Riot Grrrl is like activism. And a lot of these things are like stuff that you can do for like activism and like helping your community. And I think that's what really sets us apart from like other punk bands, is that like we do it not just for ourselves, but for like the community at large. So here's some ideas. So first of all, distributing your own zines. I gave everybody zines today. It's very easy to make zines because you make them yourself and no one can tell you what to do. It's like zines are self-published self-publishing, you don't have like an editor being like, you can't write this, you can't write that. You just write it yourself and then distribute it yourself and like print them out and just give them out as widely as possible. The point of a zine is to distribute it as widely as possible. But so also there's creating a safe space for marginalized people in the scene, punk scene. I think we've all heard the girls to the front thing. A lot of bands don't do that anymore because of, you know, the gender diversity we have today. But like the idea was like to help people who like maybe feel unsafe in mosh pits to have like a space for themselves. But so embracing imperfection, the mess is part of it. Like, you know, a lot of Bikini Kill songs, they're like the recording process was obviously like very scuffed and it shows in the music, but it's part of it. It's part of it. It sounds good. So booking queer, femme, people of color. When you book your own shows, it's important to like make an effort to actually book people who are like marginalized and like, because a lot of the times like in like scenes, you'll see that like it's only like white men being booked over and over, and you just gotta like make room for other people and people who don't usually have a platform. But okay, so giving free harm reduction supplies at your shows. So there's a lot of like community organizations out there where you can invite them to your shows and like they'll have harm reduction supplies. Okay, so DIY flyer and physical media distribution. Well, you know, that's CDs. You can burn CDs yourself, and also like flyers. You can print them yourself. It's like good to just print flyers onto like 4-page thing and like 4 for a page and then cut them out and then just what I did the first time I did a Riot Grrrl's Not Dead show in NYC. I went to a Destroy Boys show the day before and handed out flyers to the people in line, and people actually came from that. So inviting community organizers to speak at your shows, you know, that's just inviting important community organizers who can like talk at your shows and be like, say stuff about like what you can do to help your community. But these are just a few ideas. Okay, wait, go back to the other side. I just want to open it up to the audience on other ideas. Yes?
I just have a question. What
Yes?
does the harm reduction supplies include? Or like,
Narcan,
yeah?
It's
like Narcan and like
Testing strips.
when we go to Coach Room and they have the testing strips, Narcan, free bottled water like section of the merchandise table,
Okay,
like
okay.
that kind of stuff.
I got a drink cover at Punk Island. I think it was Punk Rock Saves Lives. It's a smart idea to have that.
Yeah,
Condoms.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know. I've seen Plan B.
Oh yeah.
Me too, actually. I think that was pretty dope.
Safe Sea, New Jersey is another one too. If you want to invite them to come.
Yeah. Do you have any other ideas for things you can do? Let's hear from the Riot Grrrl bands here. What do you think?
We've thrown like benefit shows. That's been cool. We threw one last year for my birthday. We raised like over $1,000 for the
Here,
National Network
you can have
of
this.
Abortion Funds. Oh, what up? Yeah. Hi. Yeah, I'm Rox. I'm in a band called Pleasure Death. And yeah, my band threw a benefit show last year where we raised over $1,000 for the National Network of Abortion Funds. So that is a cool way. Gather folks and raise money for a good cause.
I also want to say, like, creating your own events. I mean, whether they're events like this or festivals, like you're throwing a festival at the end of August, I think it's important sometimes because when you're trying to book on some of these bigger festivals, they're not going to have that priority of putting femme, queer, and people of color on their lineups, but you can have that ethos yourself and implement that.
Anyone else want to say something? You want?
Nothing right now.
Nothing
I
right
lost
now?
all thoughts. No thoughts at empty.
Okay. You can talk a bit about She Shreds.
Sure. My name's Sam. I'm in a bunch of bands. I've thrown a festival a few years now, and I try to prioritize femme and queer artists, and then I have like a ton of vendors as well to try to let them make some sales, make some money, build community. Yeah, I don't know. I always find it more interesting the more women have a microphone, you know, at shows. So I try to create that environment.
Okay. Awesome. All right. Next slide. All right. So finding band members. Okay, so all of you who are not in Riot Grrrl bands, guess what? You came here because you want to start a Riot Grrrl band, so get each other's Instagrams or something. But okay, so here are some ways you can find band members. There's Craigslist, there's Facebook groups, there's Instagram, there's Discord servers, and your IRL friends. Just start being like, let's start a band. Going to local shows, that is a big one. You should go to your local shows and meet people who also are interested in the same music you like, and just make friends with them, because that's the big way on how you start creating a community. But anyway, so next slide. Okay, so this is my tangent on where to find local shows, but this is geared towards NYC. So they got Oh My Rockness, which shows all the shows that are in NYC, or sometimes they show shows in Long Island and White Eagle Hall, which is in New Jersey. But Oh My Rockness, though, I feel like they do miss a lot of shows, and those are the ones that you have to follow specific Instagram pages of shows that they just do not that aren't being reported on, the really underground ones.
Yeah, you have to self-report to Oh My Rockness, which is how you get a profile. And then once you have one, they'll start tacking on to your stuff. But that's how it works if you're not on Oh My Rockness.
I feel like I did email Oh My Rockness way back early.
If you've ever been on their website and you just cross-state that and be like, hey, we've been on your site before, add us. They'll do it.
Okay, I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah, sorry.
You should also follow your local bands on Instagram. Look for flyers on the street, especially the Bushwick area, and definitely Jefferson Stop if you've been there. There's flyers everywhere, and that's flyers for all the venues that are basically in that area. And you should also follow DIY promoters and community organizers. Next slide. Making music. You're on your own for this one, bud. I can't tell you how to make music. I can tell you how to distribute it. So, there's Bandcamp, there's SoundCloud, there's DistroKid, there's CD Baby, there's a bunch of other ones, but those are the main ones that I've used. And Bandcamp is free, and it also is one of the actual ways where if you don't get a lot of streams yet, you can actually still make money because they pay you for your music instead of streaming it and you get 0.000 crazy amount of 0 cents from it. Yes, next slide. So getting gigs. So here's my hot take. I feel like before you start to gig, you should have something to give them as to what you sound like. It's very hard to get a gig if they don't know what you sound like. You can tell them oh, I sound like this, but if you don't have an example, there's gonna be I have no you could I have no clue who you are. This is just. It's just it's not gonna be. You're if promoters that will give you a gig based on absolutely nothing, that show is gonna be terrible. I'm just saying but yeah. So make your own gig. Know someone with a basement or yard, have a show there. And also another thing is you might have to play free shows at first. Okay, so here's my bit on performing. Everyone does this differently. Everyone performs differently, but my things are stage presence, engaging the crowd, audience participation, and making them get closer to the stage. I feel you should be making them feel like they're part of something, and that they're there and in the venue and not at home staring at it through a screen. I actually directly ask my audience to be okay, this is the song where you mosh, or this is the song where you dance. In NYC, I feel nobody really dances anymore. But we gotta change that. Be the change you wanna see. Okay, the most important thing about being in a band and everything else in life. Commitment. You cannot let your band fizzle out. If you truly want to be in a band, you have to put time and effort into it. your band members need to be committed to, how much money, time, travel are you willing to put into this, and what returns are you expecting? Because honestly, there might not be like any returns at first. Like, you just have to kind of commit to it. Okay, so here's my bit about promotion. Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, Reddit, flyers, and going to other band shows. You know, I think like everyone, all the bands that are real bands in here are like, they're like, we're all trying our own thing with like promoting everything. Like I think we've been doing mainly Instagram and TikTok, and then when you post on Facebook, you get a bunch of hate comments. Like you get those transphobic hate comments that are like, because Facebook is like the Wild West or something. But I feel like Reddit is an underrated way of promoting your show, like your music. I post on like r/punk a lot, but also I post on r/witches versus patriarchy and stuff like just gals being gals or something like that. Like just like if you have like if you know someone who does like cool photography, like putting a bunch of those photos onto Reddit, that's really an underrated way to get people to listen to your band. And I've had people come to my shows and be like, I saw you on Reddit. And then they spend lots of money because they're usually adults who have money. But, okay, and then also like flyers, you know, definitely make flyers. No AI, we all know that. Going to other band shows, this is a great way to promote your own shows because, you know, if you don't participate in the community, why should anyone participate in yours? But yes, okay. So these are just some examples of flyers that we've done. Like we've done like an abortion benefit show, and this was like in a show that was earlier this year. But yes, you know, flyers, you know, and stuff like this. It's just like I did that on like a sketchbook page, and like so it's like, you know. All right, here's a big thing. You need to go to other local band shows, otherwise you're an asshole. You need to stay for the other band sets when you're on a bill, otherwise you're an asshole. If somebody like you're on a bill with them and then they play before you and then leave immediately after, I do not want to play with them ever again. Like I just don't want to play with them again. But and it's also just like, it's just like a courtesy thing, like a band etiquette thing. It's just like, you should, like, because if you're not going to stay for other people's sets, why should anyone stay for yours? But yes. Okay, so make friends with other bands. Cat Crash hands out stickers. I do not recommend business cards. Say hi to the openers. But yes, hello. We do like these little stickers. For the record, I made the Spotify stickers when Spotify wasn't evil yet. But like I still have so many of them, so I'm still giving them out. But like, I think that stickers is a cuter way of handing them out because I throw away business cards. I'm sorry, but yes. Next slide. Okay, so here's some things about merch. So here's what I use. I use custom stickers, or you know, just like any sticker website online. Don't use Sticker Mule because Sticker Mule supports Trump. But so there's also like on Etsy, there's like cheapest buttons of like that's what I buy my buttons from, and I don't know. I've developed like a rapport with the guy who like makes them. His name's Kyle. But like. And then there's also like patches and shirts and tapestries and Cat Crash, because we're Cat Crash, we sell cat ears. And also like a good way to sell it online that we've been doing is on Bandcamp, but there's obviously a lot of other ways that I have not used, so I can't tell you about them. But here, yes. Okay, wow, we're at the end of the presentation. It's a Q&A time. All right, next slide. So I have some questions for the established bands if anyone wants to answer. So, you know, anybody?
I'll answer. Do my buddies want to get up here and speak with me, or? No, I do not. All right, that's enough. Which side is the microphone on? Is it that?
I will show you 1 second.
It is.
Yes, it is that top.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, no worries.
So, hello.
Turn the mics back on? Like, do we
Oh,
still
yeah.
need the...
Well, this is just like the questions, I guess. Do you want to turn the lights back on? Actually, I think it's like, it's fine.
You can still
I
see.
think like it's fine. Yeah.
Oh. Oh, okay. Hi, everyone. We are Rat Sauce. We are all the way up here from New Jersey, and I live in Philadelphia.
It's gonna be a fun drive tonight.
Yeah, 2 stops.
Oh, God.
We consider ourselves a Riot Grrrl band just because, honestly, it was public opinion at first. We didn't really label ourselves with anything when we first started. And then when we started posting to social media and started putting music out on streaming platforms, people just kind of kept shouting like, oh,
Yeah.
punk, punk. And then eventually it became Riot Grrrl, and that one kind of stuck. I was and am, but specifically was really into Riot Grrrl in high school and did a whole presentation about it for my senior project. So I accept that, and I'm a feminine front of a all-male band that present very, very feminine as well and are comfortable in their femininity. So I guess that's
Yeah.
why
We also just have a lot of Riot Grrrl inspiration, so I think.
Destroy Boys, Mommy Long Legs, Hole, a lot of other like
Jack up.
Jack. Yeah,
I
Jack.
don't know if I'm really.
Oh, you don't have your pants on. That would have been so helpful if you had your patch pants on.
Yeah.
I definitely hear the Destroy Boys influence in your music.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should we go through the line, or should we have different bands answer this question?
You
Like,
You
do
can-
you want us to answer all of them, or should we pass it around?
you can keep going.
Okay. How did we start the band, Matt? Matt and Zoli.
Get over here.
We would just
Yeah, it just started
yeah.
with me and Zoli. I was learning bass, he was learning drums, and we were just messing around with our instruments.
That's proof you really don't have to know instruments to start a band. Like, you can start a band, and honestly, I think it helped us a lot because learning kind of side by side, we like developed like a synchronized sound almost. So really, if you don't know instruments, it's almost like a better reason to start a band and just start playing instruments with other people.
Yeah,
And
honestly,
learn.
yeah, it would give you more encouragement to learn because you have someone there to like tell
Yeah.
you to do it.
And yell at you
Yeah.
to learn stuff. And then me and Zoli have known each other since we were 4. We grew up together. All of us grew up together living in the same town. We're all from Bordentown, so we all grew up going to school together.
I lived across the street from you for 13 years.
Yeah. For like our entire lives, we were
Yeah.
neighbors.
Since I was
I've-
conscious.
I've known him since he was a little baby. But I have been singing for a really long time, and I was in a program for it. And Zoli knew that and hit me up and was like, "Hey, we need a singer for our band." And I went for a rehearsal, and I was like, "Does Matt like me?" And he was like, "Yeah, I do." And then our bassist quit on us right before one of our first major shows. No, it was fine. But I knew that Ben played bass because of Ben's older brother, and we hit Ben up, and he was like, "Yeah, dude, I'll do it."
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so it was 2 shows. It was a Sunday showcase at the Stone Pony, and then like a porch fest in our like town. And so I was supposed to be temporary, and I had like 3 weeks to prepare. And at the time, these 3 were like 17. I was like 14, and I just started playing bass. So I had never played in front of anybody, and I had a hat on, and I hid the crowd under my hat so I couldn't get nervous. And after the show, they all huddled around. I was outside getting some air, and they were like, "Do we want this guy?" And they were like, "Yeah." So here I am.
Honestly, the most important part when starting is just have fun with it. Don't get serious until it needs to get serious.
Yeah.
I think.
I agree.
I'm still not serious.
What do you want to see more of within the scene? Well, we can't really speak that much for NYC specifically. I know that a lot of people here, if not all of the people here, are from NYC or close. But in New Jersey, we would like to see more of a scene.
Yeah.
Because there's not really that much of a Riot Grrrl scene in
we're
NJ.
like the only Riot Grrrl adjacent band, and like also
Yeah.
what Cecil said about like more inclusivity and like minorities and stuff, because it's all just like white men who sound like Arctic monkeys, and it's just at the least it's just so boring to listen to the same, like basically the same band over and over.
I have so many New Jersey recs for you then.
Awesome.
Okay,
Perfect.
yeah.
I got you.
Because
I'm also from Jersey, by the way.
Okay.
Oh, awesome. Okay, sick. Yeah, we would just like to see more. And then also, personally, I guess it would be really, really cool to see more of a queer front in the genre of punk in general. I would love to see other queer femme vocalists up there, which is why I'm super excited for tonight, because that's going to be super awesome. I'm really excited to see a lot of the bands. But also, like, as somebody who's non-binary and dresses very femme, I would love to see people bring that and accept that more in the punk scene that I'm personally in New Jersey and sometimes in Philly, but Philly's pretty great in terms of that. What about you guys?
Yeah, you just said everything.
Oh, and girls kissing girls. I would love to see more of that.
I'm gonna get so excited for tonight that
Let's go.
What would you change about Riot Grrrl? I would change stereotypes that surround, what Riot Grrrl used to be. And I think that Riot Grrrl has changed a lot over the course of its, time as a genre and as a movement. And I would really, really love to change how people view, like, oh, if you're in Riot Grrrl, you have to dress like this, you have to act like this, you have to, be Courtney Love or whatever, or you have to be mean and stuff like that. It's not, because that's just straight up not true. And also, I would love to see more inclusivity of a lot of different people and, like, definitely more bodies, instead of just the Pinterest archetype of, like, you have to be like Coke skinny and like all of this like it girl stuff that's been plaguing the internet. I would love to see more like inclusivity in terms of bodies.
Yeah, you said it.
I know, guys. I'm really good at that.
Yay. You wanna go?
Amy, get up here.
Oh, okay. Where are you gonna stand?
Guys?
Is this cool? Are you gonna?
Yeah, I'll just stand next to you.
Hi everyone, I'm Nico,
Hi, Nico.
and this is Amy, and we're in Bad Static. Why do you consider yourself a Riot Grrrl band? Well, Riot Grrrl is actually what inspired me to start a band. I never thought I could be in a band. I didn't really know how to play an instrument. I kind of played bass when I was 12, and by kinda I mean I had one lesson. And then my dad wouldn't let me go anymore, so that's the thing. But I found Riot Grrrl. I mean, I've always knew, like, Bikini Kill existed. I used to listen to them all the time, but I never learned about the movement itself until, like, COVID. Like, it was 2020, I was locked in my room, and my whole social media thing just became Riot Grrrl, and I was like, I need to be in a band. And I broke my foot at the time, so I had nothing to do, so I bought a $60 bass, and I just taught myself how to play. And I'm like, well, it has to be a Riot Grrrl band, because this is what made me want to do this in the first place.
What? Yeah.
Okay, so Amy has more background in, like, queercore.
Yeah, because I was in a project called Sludge Bunny, which, like, in retrospect is, like, fairly Riot Grrrl, but, like, that's not how we were labeling ourselves. It is something that I was pitching us to those playlists, but I didn't really know the history of Riot Grrrl at that time. And then I joined Tab Grrrl, which is a Riot Grrrl band, and then that's kind of when I learned more about, like, the Riot Grrrl movement and everything else. But yeah, I feel like the queercore scene in New York and Riot Grrrl, it's all very, like, it's also, like, I know people kind of get hung up on, like, oh, it's a genre, it's not a genre. There's, like, that debate between, like, oh, is it genre? Is it the genre of Riot Grrrl? For me, I'm like, Riot Grrrl is more of a movement than a specific sound.
Yeah.
Because I feel like if you're just pigeonholing people into a sound that's not, like, I don't know, it's all punk at the end of the day.
Yeah,
So it's like
we play around with sound. Like I
Yeah.
think there's some surf and some psych, and you have a metal influence. Like
Yeah.
we're not strictly punk in any sense, besides like our ethos and our ethics. But,
right.
But
For me, it's more of like the what the music stands for and why we're doing it than
Right.
like the sound that comes out of our instruments being Riot Grrrl, if that makes sense.
How did you start your band? God, this is a story. Well, I'm gonna not tell the whole story. I started this band 5 years ago. I basically was an offshoot of another project that I was in that ended kind of poorly. But the first 2 songs were written by me and that the old person that was in the project, and she was the singer. I never wanted to be a singer. Never wanted to be a front person. I actually have crazy stage fright. And I really loved what we were doing, and I didn't want it to end. So I was like, in order to keep this alive, I have to take that role because that's the only way this is gonna continue. And I went through some ebbs and flows. Like the band was half in New Jersey, half in New York at that time. The bassist that started the band with me moved to California, and I missed her so dearly. But we have an amazing bassist named Carol now. And then Amy and I were in another band together, and now she's in this band.
Yeah. I joined the band way after it was. Yeah. So. Yeah.
What do you want to see more of within the scene? More people of color, more trans kids.
Yeah. Righting the wrongs of the past of the Riot Grrrl movement. That's kind of where I would put it.
I also love this aspect of like being intergenerational. I think some of the bills that we've been on are like teenagers who are 12 and killing it. And then we're playing with like Honey Child Coleman, who's like a legend, and she's in her closer to her 50s. And I think that is like really awesome, just like melding these different perspectives of what that is.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts?
No, that's I think just righting the wrongs, more trans people to the front.
Woo.
That's
What would you change about Riot Grrrl? I mean, I think that kind of.
Yeah, we're kind of doing it. Yeah.
I was like, well, no, I don't mean that. I mean, like, we kind of just answered that.
That's what I mean. It's like, what do I want to see? There's the change. Like that. I feel like Riot Grrrl today isn't like we're consciously trying to make those changes.
Right.
So.
Yeah. Anyone else want to speak?
Sam, pleasure to. Sam, okay.
You want to go? Okay. I guess I'll stand in the front. What's up? I'm Rox. I'm in a 2-piece project called Pleasure Death. And hey, and I'd say like kind of based off what Nico and Amy just said, like we don't necessarily view Riot Grrrl as a particular sound. So it's more of like an ethos for us. And we sing about, we sing about SA, we sing about all of the things that have brought us rage, being socialized as women, as to like non-binary people, and just everything that's come of, living in a fucking rape culture. So we really just, like, our band is our opportunity to just get this fucking rage out. And like, I'm heavily influenced by bands like Bikini Kill and other Riot Grrrl bands. So that definitely comes through. But our sound is like, I don't know, we've got like some metal influence. We've got some doomy influence. Like, we're kind of heavy in that regard, or at least we try to be kind of thrashy too. How we started the band, I posted on Lex. Post on Lex if you're trying to find bandmates, because that shit worked. It was like one post. I got like 10 people responded. KJ, my bandmate who plays drums, responded, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like, the first person who responds is a drummer. And it was kind of whack because like I'm sitting on my couch and I'm wearing like this oversized hoodie with this chastity belt graphic on it, that band. And in the photo on Lex, like KJ's profile picture was them like wearing the same fucking shirt. So I was just like, what's happening with this? So I like messaged them and we meet up. We go to a practice at Red Note, which is one of like the communal practice spaces in the neighborhood. And it just clicked. So like internet can be good sometimes, and use it as a resource. Yeah, and then we just like immediately, we started playing at Bar Frida at the open mic there and met a lot of friends. And kind of like unlike what you were saying, Cecil, like we started playing shows before we released anything. Like we've been a band for a year and a half and we only released our first single like a couple months ago because we just like wanted to fucking play gigs and like let the songs breathe before we recorded them. So that's kind of our process, but like just like going to shows, meeting other bands, talking to people, like leaving your house is so important and has been important for us. And yeah, I won't spend too much more time up here, but basically just echoing what everyone else said, like righting the wrongs of the past, making efforts to be more intersectional, having more BIPOC focused bills, having more trans and queer bills. And yeah, we pay attention to that when we're booking our shows and we do the best that we can. And yeah, I think that's all I got. Does anybody else want to chat? Anybody? Nobody? Okay, cool. Back to you.
Okay, Arun, you want to come up?
Sure, why not?
Okay, so I mean, Cat Crash. I mean, when I was first advertising Cat Crash, I called ourselves a pop punk band, and the thing is, I don't think pop punk people like us. Like whenever I try to post on like RSAP's pop punkers, we're run out of there. They hate us. But you know, I considered my music to be pop punk at first because it was really inspired by bands like Fall Out Boy and like My Chemical Romance and like early 2000s pop punk. But it was also just like, I was also really just really cognizant of the way that I was like a trans femme like person of color in like a scene where there's not many of those. And so I was like, I actually want to make it like a main thing of my music and the way that we present ourselves and the kind of bills that we book. Like I was like, I want it to be a main thing and I want it to be like not to be like, okay, but like a selling point rather than a thing that I'm trying to hide. So, you know, we just started calling ourselves Riot Grrrl, as in like, we are like, well, our band has like pretty much always been all trans, even throughout like all of our different iterations. All of us have been transgender, and also like, you know, we've had like people of color. It's been Asian people of color, but like we have like people of color in a band, and it's like I think a thing that we should be proud of, and so Riot Grrrl. But how did you start your band? Well, I started Cat Crash in 2022 when a friend of mine texted me, "Do you want to start a band?" And I said, "Sure." So. And I don't know, we just started making demos, and we went to a studio and got some of them produced, and then we ran out of money. I just had like 3 songs that we actually recorded out of like a bunch of songs we'd written. Like only 3 of them actually got recorded, which were Aphrodite Has a Plan, What Do You Mean, Who Deleted Our Spotify Playlist, and Dreamer. So we only had those 3 songs, and I sat on them for months until I was like, no, I just gotta release this. Like I just gotta release this like now. We dropped Aphrodite Has a Plan in like February. It had been recorded in like August, but we dropped it in February 2023, and You know, yeah. But you know, Arun joined my band this like the last November, but like we met in September at a Jawbreaker Slapmobile show.
Yeah. Bratmobile opened for Jawbreaker.
Yes.
And I had known what Riot Grrrl was. I'd listened to Bikini Kill and Bratmobile before, but I didn't really consider myself someone who would be in a Riot Grrrl band. Spoiler alert, I joined a Riot Grrrl band. My influences and the places where it came from ultimately came out from like the 90s DIY scene, which slotted in perfectly with Riot Grrrl because it is 90s DIY.
Okay, so what do you want to see more of within the scene? Obviously, like, you know, everyone's been saying it, but more people of color, more queer people, more femme people. I also just want to see younger people. I feel like I feel like I try to play more all ages shows than 21 plus because it's just more inclusive, and I am very like. I just remember very well how I felt when I was under 21 and all of my favorite bands were playing 21 plus shows. And I was like, I can't go to this. And
Yeah.
there was this time where like this band like offered to sneak me in, and then they like chickened out last minute.
I mean, like, another thing that I would also like to point out is just like, when you're young, you have a lot of time. You don't realize it, but you have a lot of time, and that's perfect for getting all the things that you're thinking and putting it into the music form through a band or your own musical project. And I just think that by playing all ages shows, we get to tell people, like, hey, you can make a band. If you make a band right now, that's really good. Yeah, it's the perfect time for you. And I don't know, just like sort of like cultivating a new outcrop of people to join, you know?
Also, like right now, there's a huge pressure across like all like the entire U.S. basically, where everyone's trying to make everybody more conservative. So I feel like getting into Riot Grrrl is a way to combat that.
Yeah, it's just an increase in policing how you express yourself. I feel like Riot Grrrl can really be an awesome tool in expressing yourself, especially in how everything is labeled as LARPing or just everything's dismissed, even if you're really, really passionate about it. And I just feel like being in a band really, really helps.
What would you change about Riot Grrrl? Okay, so obviously, like, you know, we're always talking about like the sins of the past and stuff like that, but like,
Yeah.
it's I feel like a lot of bands nowadays don't want to call themselves Riot Grrrl just because of the associations of the past with like transphobia and like racism. But like, I think that can be applied to basically all of punk, though. Like, all of punk was transphobic and racist in the past. Like, we all just know that. And I think like putting it on Riot Grrrl is misogyny, but like, I mean, I like the term Riot Grrrl. I like the catchiness. Like, I like that it rolls off the tongue. It's like, it's nice, and like, I would support having like a new word for it, but we haven't really come up with one yet. So, I mean, I was thinking of Riot Core.
Riot Core could be cool.
Or Riot Grrrl.
Yeah, I mean, they're already joined from the hip from the start. But I really feel that it's not so much the sins of the past that we focus on, but trying to figure out how to build a community for each other. Just, it's really hard out there. You don't have a community if you don't know what you're doing. And if there's shows nearby you, people who are like you who are playing shows, it really, really helps.
I mean, Cackrash came from the Connecticut scene, and the Connecticut scene was very white, I feel like, and also like very closed off. But like, and also it was very small, so everybody knew each other, and like, it just I don't think it allowed a lot of room to grow. But I mean, but the thing about like Cat Crash shows, I feel like, is that like after we started basically promoting ourselves on like the internet and getting like more followers that way, suddenly like people who had never gone to a show in their life were showing up to Cat Crash shows.
Yeah.
Cause like the shows we were playing before were like Connecticut scene shows, so it was just the same people who would show up to the shows over and over again because they were part of the scene, right? But like what I found when we started promoting ourselves like outside of that, it was just a ton of people who'd never been introduced to that side of thing before and going to it for their first time and like actually finding out that they really enjoy it and it's like a gateway for them. And it's like people who thought that they didn't belong in punk.
Yeah. Especially kids.
Yeah. So, all right, let's open up the Q&A to the audience. Anybody have any questions? Does anybody have any questions?
I'll do a shameless plug. My shameless plug is I'm Faye. I've been photographing the scene for the past around year, I guess. I've been showing up to shows and going to shows. If you're starting a Riot Grrrl band and you need a photographer, hit me up on Instagram, talk to me after the show tonight or during the show or right now. But yeah, I think that documentation and being there for each other is something that's really important in a scene. So if y'all need one, I'll be there for you. Buy me a beer. That's all I ask for.
What kind of beer?
Oh, Hefeweizens or Naganarset. Is that how you say it? Narragansett. I moved here last year. Let's go learn.
Does anybody have a question? Yes. Here.
What's up, everybody? I'm Hillary. I'm the owner of this venue, Unruly Collective. Some people have played here before. Yes. Welcome back. I just wanted to say a few things. I've had the venue for 10 years. There are not enough women doing this. So if you have shows you want to do, if you're interested in, you need a practice space, we have a full backline downstairs. I love Riot Grrrls. I have so much rage and emotional sadness. I mean, I was literally like weeping back here listening to like the supplies that women need at shows. Like it's crazy, you know? And I love to see women get up and do this because it's like, I feel unleashed. I feel like I can't do it myself in that way. I can do my own Riot Grrrl this way by creating a DIY space for people to do it. But to see it done, I'm like, this is what it is to be a woman. This is what it is to be frustrated. This is what it is to be consistently, you know, and as a woman who owns a space, there are not a lot of women who own spaces. There are not a lot of women doing what I do, consistently pushed around. And I love to yell at men, so sorry. Sorry, I'm not sorry. But anyway. Please come here, play here. We are very friendly for women, for queer people, for people of color. It's what I want to do. I will put you at the top of a bill. I will not judge you on the music. I will not judge you on the level of the music you're playing. I'm here for it. Just send us an email or introduce yourself. We're very friendly with Purgatory down the block. He does a great job with them. So if you need anything, please play more shows, produce more shows, push men out of the way. Again, I'm sorry for all the men, cis men in this room. Because you guys are better players, you're easy to work with, you are smarter at what you do. I never have problems with you reading emails, following instructions, reading directions. It's really annoying because it's always in the email. Men don't get that. And I would just love to support it. It's just, for me, a great relationship. So I'm here for you. Party on. Anything you need, any shows you want to play, any backup venues, anything, rehearsal space, whatever, just let me know. So it's as easy as unrulycollective@gmail.com. That's all. Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I have a question. So I think like over the past like year and a half that my band has been active, like demystifying the booking process, like for a new band, I think is something that could be helpful if we talk about.
Okay.
So I guess like when you're, I don't know, I guess when you're reaching out to venues, like what are you putting in your booking email? And if you want to speak to this too, Hillary, like what do you look for? Like what do you like to see?
I mean, I'm unconventional, so I don't know that everyone will follow my journey in how I choose artists I'm going to work with, but I started Unruly, and Unruly is very important to the name and my ethos is because there's so much judgment in art. There's so much judgment in art. Who am I to say that this painting is better than somebody else's? Who am I to say that this music is better than somebody else's? It's none of my business, really, right? So for me, there was constant rejection for people, and I couldn't understand who is still my Roman Empire, if you will, is like, who picks out paintings in a museum and is like, this one, yes, this one slays, all the others suck, you know, or this band belongs on the radio. So it's very hard for me to wrap my brain around the idea of like me being the ultimate stop of like, this is cool, this is not cool, I'm making the call on that. So for me, I typically don't, and I do think it's important to include this. So again, I'm unconventional. I do not listen to music or look at artwork until I've decided to book you. So I'm booking you on what is in your email, right? What are you telling me about yourself? Are you emailing me because it says email, it doesn't say DM? Are you reaching out in a way that you know somebody? Have you heard of us before? Are you saying something nice to me? Are you familiar with what this kind of space is? This is a very unconventional space. We're very DIY. We are women-led. There are certain things that I like to do here. How are you presenting yourself? You know, are you positive? And I can usually tell through an email how the exchange is going to go. And then when I respond to you, with how the space goes, and again, I don't have things like radius clauses and a lot of things that other venues have. I'm pretty open, very much for the culture. If you get back to me and you're down for it, and how you respond to that is going to tell me everything I need to know. So I can typically tell with the response if this is going to be not for us, if you're not for the culture, if you're not down with how things are going to go down here, that's cool. There's tons of other venues in the city. But I do think, don't be afraid, at least when you come to me, about am I good enough? Is my art good enough? Is my sound good enough? It's more, am I put together? Can I present a show? Do I have other surrounding acts that are going to support this? Can I bring people out? And can I sell tickets? Stop being afraid to sell tickets, you guys. Stop. Women need to make money. Like, be okay with selling tickets. Don't do guest lists. Tell your friends, your boyfriends, your girlfriends, buy the tickets, your family, your mom. Those are the fucking people that should pay the money. Don't put them on a guest list. Get paid. Go to venues that are going to pay you at least 50% of what you're making. So that's really what it is for me. Like the way you're presenting yourself, the way that you're responding to the venue, how you know the venue, and why you want to do it. And if you are, it's your first time, you're like, yo, it's my first time, I'm freaking out. Do you have any other shows for us? Like there are some venues, we've got open bills, we've got open mics, we'll suggest other things, and we know each other around here. So we'll push you to other places that might fit what you're doing better. But really, like, don't let your newness or your opinion of yourself as an artist hold you back, because the greatest curse of an artist is the inability to see how good we actually are. So that's what I have to say on that.
Did you want to speak?
Yes. Also just about booking, like just talk to other bands, either like going to local shows and talking to bands, or just messaging on Instagram, making connections and stuff. That's honestly the easiest way to get a show, and like the least judgmental way. I don't know, at least like from like venues that might be looking down upon you or whatever. But yeah, just talk to bands.
Fuck those venues if they're looking down on you. You know what I mean? Like, just don't let it get to you. It's really not personal, again, and don't, a lack of response, a slower response does not mean we don't like you. It's just sometimes we're like, there's a lot of things. Don't get discouraged.
I would also say on top of bands, like for promoters, there's small promoters out in the city, like Cecil does Bubble Grunge.
Bubble tea grunge.
What?
It's called Bubble Tea Grunge.
Bubble Tea Grunge. I'm so sorry. Lady Lychee has one, which is
fruit punk music.
Fruit punk music. And there's so many, like you do, I mean, I don't know. Are you actually a booker, or you just do the festival run?
I give like a lot of referrals.
Right.
So I would also say same thing. Like I personally, knock on wood, have never had to ask for a show. You know, I literally do it. People come up to me all the time. They're like, "Oh, like you know this band, right? You follow them." I'm like, "Girl, I follow every band with a woman I see. I'm following them." And then people just, you know, when they're coming to New York, like there's a couple touring bands I'm about to play with this band, Annie Dukes. They're from Florida.
They're so awesome.
They're sick. I found them through like an Instagram ad, and I just followed them, and then they were coming to New York, and they reached out. But yeah, like people reach out to me, and I don't like book shows directly a lot, but people do reach out, and I'm like, here's like a bunch of ideas of people you could ask, you know. But yeah, literally just supporting other people's shows is my number one way. Like, I feel like a lot of people usually they only share their own shit, you know, which like bigger bands, they only post their own content, like super curated. But we're smaller. It's about community. So literally, like, I'm mostly posting about other people's stuff. And that's how I get it, because people know I'm going to come to your show, or I'm going to tell everyone about it. Like, I'm going to share your shit too. So I feel like that's the biggest way to do it, to support other people. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, Gunk is run by two women. Does anybody hear about Gunk? It's run by two women. I can't think of who run it. It's in New York. It's heavy to push with. Try to get yourself in Gunk magazine. It's a really good scene that's distributed around this area.
Yeah. I would also say make it as easy for the venue as possible. List all the dates out. List a potential bill you have. Describe yourself. What kind of music are you trying to provide for the venue? Even sometimes, what poll do you think you can get? Sometimes I do that. Sometimes I don't. But also link everything. Make it as easy as possible for the person to find your Instagram, your TikTok, your music online streaming, anything like that. I feel like doing all those steps will make someone willing to work with you more, because you just made their life easier. They want to book those dates. They want those slots filled. If you give them all the information, you're giving it, it's on a silver platter for them.
It drives me insane when somebody emails me. It's like, what dates do you have available? I'm like, we have an events calendar. Look on the events calendar. Women never do this. Look on the events calendar. Note that what dates are booked, and then ask me based on your schedule what's booked. Because then now I got to go back. I got to list you dates. It's like very annoying. So that's a big one. Give us dates. That changes everything.
I think also, like, back when Cat Crash was our first NYC shows, we were doing shows that, like, where, like, they ask you at the door, like, who are you there for? And I don't think you should play shows like that, because they pay you based on how many people, like, you pull. So it could be, like, a ton of people in there, but if they didn't say your name at the door, you don't get paid. So I think, like, you should, like, meet other bands in the New York City scene and put on a bill with them, and, like, collaborating with each other, rather than, like, putting yourself on a bill where you're, like, basically competing against every other artist on the bill.
I also think, like, don't give up and treat every show like it's the most important show of your life. Even if there's 5 people there. We one time played a basement show to, I think, literally 3, maybe 4 individuals. You're laughing because I know you guys remember that. But it was honestly still really fun. We played a great set. We got some good video. And the people who were there, they were throwing each other around, like, just having the best time. So if you show up and there's not a lot of people there, it's not the end of the world. And it's a really, really good moment to really practice, to really put yourself out there, and to say, like, hey, it doesn't matter. We know who we are. We know that we're important. We know that what we do is important. So let's throw it like there's 100 people there. And then one day, maybe there will be.
But even if you don't know, one of those three people could be an executive.
People have gotten signed like that. 3 people in a room, and they still gave their whole...
Yeah.
It was like I think it was like a Slipknot or Korn or something like that. And they played a show, and it was like somebody from the other band was there, and it was like there was like 5 people there. But that's what made that band, is because they did a show to 5 people that ripped. And they were like, if they can do this to 5 people, I can't wait to see what they do in front of 500.
Exactly,
More valuable than 100 in every single time, because those 5 people will tell people, they'll post shit, they'll talk about it, and they're going to drive you 10 more people, versus 100 people are there like, I might care for something else. I'm like, not focused.
Also, creating not in like a dangerous parasocial way, but creating somewhat of a relationship with your audience. We really like to respond to comments, even hate comments that are like that if we think a hate comment that we get on our post is kind of funny, we'll like spit back a little bit, and people really like that. But also, we played a show last night, and these 3 kids came up to me and were like, hey, we made you all bracelets. And Zoli has yours. And then they made me this beautiful chain link, like, necklace that I ended up wearing, and like that kind of stuff, that's so important, because, and you can't brush that like stuff away, because they, that just shows love, and it should push you to keep going. I don't know where this is. I can grab it.
Okay, so I'll say one other thing just about booking is, I'm not even gonna get on the camera because I'm behind it. If you're trying to book a specific place, go there, go to the shows there, talk to those bands, and be like, hey, who'd you talk to? Because like, there's a lot of places that it's really hard to get into, but if you know like the right person who knows the right person, it's like, oh, this is the person you have to talk to. Like, it's a lot of it's networking. It's just like, oh, okay, like how did you get this show? Oh, I talked to okay, and you can kind of backwards engineer that. But yeah, that's the only other thing I would
We're more
say.
likely to work with you if you know somebody, or I'm telling you, flatter the venue. Just
Yeah.
go to a show and be like, I saw this.
Yep, I went to these 7 shows, and yeah, exactly.
What you're doing is great. Whatever it is, whatever you want to play there, like it doesn't matter. You'd be surprised. You can tell the difference between someone who's sending out 10 emails to a bunch of venues versus somebody who's like, actually, I've decided that these venues are the ones I'm interested in this reason versus like it's just a blanket thing I'm chucking out. Like I'm more likely to be like, I can tell. You know?
Yeah.
Okay. Any other questions? All right. You want to wrap this up? Okay. All right. So thank you so much for coming to this Riot Grrrl NYC meeting. The next meeting, why don't you talk about that?
Oh, yeah. Okay. So I'm hosting the next meeting. We're going to the NYU Special Collections. We're going to see the Riot Grrrl collection, and we're actually going to like get our hands on the OG zines and materials from OG Riot Grrrls. It's super limited because their reading room only has 25, has a 25 person capacity. And we actually have already had 25 people sign up, but we're still encouraging people to sign up in case folks drop, because we'll put you on a wait list. And it'll also show us if there's like a lot of interest, we might do it again. And you can find all that at the Riot Grrrl NYC Instagram. It's all linked there. Yeah. It's on September 19th. It's a Saturday, 12 to 4. Yeah.
You need to say anything else?
Well, thank you all for coming. And we have a show at Purgatory right after this. So
When does Purgatory open?